Hey everyone, Simon Arias here, and let me start out with something that might surprise you. In my opinion, I don't think you need to go to college always. Now, before you think I'm knocking education, because I do have a business degree and a college education, I'm not knocking education at all. But I'm gonna challenge us with something that society has drilled into our heads, that you need a degree to be successful in business. I grew up in smaller town, Youngstown, Ohio, and everyone told me the same thing. Simon, you have to go to college if you want to make anything of yourself. Guidance counselors, family members, friends, they all said that I needed that piece of paper to have a real shot. But here's what I've discovered. Business doesn't care about your GPA. Business doesn't care where you went to school. It cares about one thing. Can you create value for other people or the marketplace? And that's something you can learn without spending 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years going into debt. Here's the first thing that I want to address. The myth that you need a college degree in order to build wealth. This is one of the biggest myths that I think we tell young people today. College does teach you theory, but business teaches you reality. And reality doesn't care about your academic credentials when you're trying to solve real problems for real people. When I started in this business, nobody asked me where I went to school. They asked me pretty much one question: are you willing to put the work in to help protect families and protect their financial future? Can you solve their problems? Can you create value? Can you put the work in? Can you be coachable? I've worked with college graduates who couldn't sell water in the desert. And I've worked with people that graduated from high school and never went to college who became multimillionaires, including a couple of my mentors. The difference wasn't education, it was application. Don't get me wrong, college does work for some people. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, or other things like that, you need a formal education. But if you want to build wealth through business, entrepreneurship, sales, college might actually slow you down a little bit more, in my opinion, than it could help you at times. Because college teaches you to follow instructions, wait for permission, avoid risk, take the road normally traveled. Business requires you to create instructions, take initiative, manage risks, blaze a path at times. Those are opposite skill set and sometimes opposite mindsets. So what's the real education for business success? It's simple. Learn by doing, fail fast, and surround yourself with people who are already winning, and try to take the advice and be coachable to people that have already done some of the things that you want to do. My real education started when I walked into that door at American Income almost 20 years ago. I was hungry, I was coachable, and I was willing to do whatever it took. Every day I was around people who were making more money than most college professors. And that's not a knock on any teacher or educator or college professors. I have the utmost respect for people that are educating our youth and police officers and people out there that are serving our community. They weren't just learning or teaching theory, they were actually sharing. The people in the office I was learning from, they were sharing applicable things that worked in the real world. I learned more about business in my first 6 months than most people learn in 4 or 5 years of college, and that's a fact. Because I was learning from practitioners, not just academics, people who were doing it every day, not just talking about it. The best business education, in my opinion, that you could get is this. Find someone who has what you want. Offer to work for them for free if you have to. At least it ain't costing you money where you're paying. And then you could absorb everything that you can. That would be worth more than any MBA. Most people think education stops when you graduate. Winners know that the real education starts when you get in the game and begin solving real problems for real money. Here's what actually determines success in business: your ability to solve problems, your willingness to learn from failure and not quit and give up, and your commitment to serving other people. You can't learn all those things necessarily in the classroom. You learn those things in the trenches, making mistakes, getting back up, and trying again. I've made almost every mistake you can think of at times in business. I lost money. I've hired the wrong people. I've trusted the wrong partners and people. I've made bad decisions. But each failure taught me something that no textbook ever could. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who fail faster and learn quicker than everyone else. College teaches you to be afraid of failure at times, to avoid risk, play things safe. Business teaches you that failure is tuition for your real education. I'm not saying don't go to college if that's your path. I'm a college graduate myself, as I mentioned. But don't think it's the only path. And don't think that it guarantees you anything, because it doesn't. I know plenty of people with degrees who are struggling and plenty of people without degrees who are crushing it. So if you're not going the traditional route, what should you do instead? First, I would pick an industry and go deep. Don't try to be good at everything. Pick one thing and become excellent at it. Second, I would find mentors who are already successful in that industry. Look at where they are and ask yourself, is that what I would like my life to look like? And if so, I would already start doing anything in my power, even if I had to work for them for free, but I would offer to work for them, learn from them, and model what it is that they do. Third, start before you feel ready. Don't wait until you know everything. It's never going to be always perfect timing. Start with what you know and learn as you go. Fourth, invest in your real education. Books, seminars, courses from people who are actually doing what you want to do, not just teaching and talking about it. Fifth thing would be willing to outwork everyone, at least for sure, short term, if not for the rest of your life. If you don't have the credentials, you better have the work ethic, and the work ethic is more important. The beautiful thing about business is it's a meritocracy. Results matter more than credentials. Performance matters more than your degree. Look, gang, I'm not trying to convince you not to go to college. Don't miss the point. I'm trying to show you that it's not the only path to success. Some of the most successful people that I've met and that I know never finished college, and some people never even finished high school. And some of the smartest people I know don't have the most success because they confused education with intelligence and credentials with capability. The world needs problem solvers, not just people with degrees. It needs people who can create value, not just people who can regurgitate information. If you're young and trying to figure out your path, don't let anyone tell you that there's only one way to win. There are as many paths to success as there are successful people. The question isn't whether you have a degree. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes to become valuable to other people? If this helped you see a different path forward, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe if you want more real talk about building success your own way. Your education starts when you decide to take control of your future. Make that decision today.